Welcome back to Flint Creek Transport. My name is Justin. So in this video, you're gonna see my nephews from Guatemala that come around. They actually purchased a truck from upstate New York and they're taking that truck the whole way to Guatemala. So long ride. Derek was looking for a truck and I sent him a link of this truck that was on auction up here. And it was a truck that actually my friend sent to me. And I was like, I don't want it. It's too rusty. It's nothing we want. But I sent it to him, and he was like interested in the truck. They are looking more for trucks that say have bad engines, or they just want to get them to Guatemala. Once they're in Guatemala, the labor is very cheap down there, and then they will swap the engine out. They can paint it. They can do lots of things down there for a lot less than what we can up here. So check it out. First off, I gotta show you guys. One of my ex-coworkers sends me something. Exes, right? I don't know where I got exes living anymore, but one of my exes sends me a package. My ex-coworker. I don't know what it is. Let's see what it is here. I think it's a bag of air. Oh, look at this. Wow. It's even my size. So if you guys remember this truck, Elite Transportation, that truck was at Louisville Truck Show. That was awesome. Peterbilt. I did an interview with the guy. Wow. Awesome. Thanks. You know who you are. And I think he's giving this shirt to me because when he was working here, he owes me a shirt from that. So when he was working here with me, John Deere, I'm a big John Deere fan, by the way, if you couldn't tell, but John Deere sent me, or they sent out postcards for a free t-shirt. And you had to just fill out your information and fill out the t-shirt size that you wanted and send it in. 3 weeks later, the t-shirt shows up, right? So I filled out all my information, send it in, thought I sent it in, left him take it to the mailbox, and he puts in his size. And the t-shirt comes, nice John Deere t-shirt, packaged to Justin, don't fit me. What a guy. Here he changes the size to his size, and here he comes up with this nice John Deere t-shirt. So I think I'll say this is why he gave me this t-shirt, just to make up for that one. So this way I don't feel bad. All right, guys, hope you enjoy this video. Here's the video of this truck, this Kenworth coming in. And at least I got my nephews trained on which is a good truck. They're buying Kenworths. Remember these boys? Yeah. Well, they bought a truck going to Guatemala. We're actually, believe it or not, here in our shop. Check this out. And thanks to Trevor, Timmy's back there. They did a great job getting this truck ready to go.
this truck needed a few things. What all did it need, Trevor? Wipers,
exhaust, airbags, wipers, starter,
airbags, yeah, starter, a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
So just little things to get it going. It still has some oil leaks, a couple small things, and a lot of that stuff, it needs some paint in the frame, but you guys are gonna get it back and paint it up, get it looking good.
Yep.
Make it a real Guatemala truck, right? Yep. The thing down there is they can get labor for so much cheaper, so they can paint this thing, right? You can paint it pretty quick.
Yeah.
Not a big deal. And the engine, you guys are gonna leave the engine in there, right?
No, nope, it's coming out. We're putting a Detroit in.
So this Cummins is coming out. This is ISX 400, 500, somewhere in there, and gonna get swapped out for a Detroit. That's like the choice of engines down there, right?
Yep.
So this truck was in upstate New York. That's why it's a bit rusty. It was in Gouverneur, New York. They picked it up at auction, brought it back here. We did a few things to it. Trevor and Timmy stayed late tonight, got it done, and they're headed to Pennsylvania in the morning, and this truck will be on its final route to Guatemala. So actually a buddy of mine sent me the link to this truck thinking, you know, I should buy it, but I looked at it, it was just pretty rough shape. So had a lot of rust and stuff, and it's already been a New York truck. I'm like, nah, I don't need it. I'm trying to get trucks that are a little bit cleaner. So if you haven't been following after all my videos, I was in Guatemala. My nephews, my family has a feed mill, big feed mill in Guatemala, and they have quite a few trucks. I will post a link to one of those videos up above. You can check it out and kind of see what it's all about, whatever. So I was down there, did a little tour. Pretty big operation they got. I actually just parked this thing at my house. These guys are going to be heading out early in the morning, about 1, 2 o'clock. It's getting late, about 10:30. And guys, I can't speak highly enough of our mechanics. 2 of the guys staying late like that, getting this done, is pretty awesome. They only had a couple hours to work on it, but they did a fantastic job. These guys will be heading out early in the morning. Time to catch some shut-eye. All right, I gotta go take this machine over to one of the drivers. Scott,
I mean, it kind of yanks real hard.
you always complain about things? You want to see all the cool people I got to work with? I get to work with such awesome people.
We found that this hanger right here, see where there's no plate in there? There's a plate in there. That plate came loose and ovaled that hole out. So we got to looking at a bunch of other stuff, and there's another hanger that was loose that cracked. It's actually the one that was over on that side. So I need one hanger for each side. Everything else is good on it, but we're going to be putting new bushings in them. I got poly bushings. They're the blue. Atro makes them, but these are through DeCarlos Heavy Duty. I'm not sure what the brand is on them, but I'm going to be pushing them out. Timothy's going to do an alignment. I've got to actually get, so we've got our own alignment tool that does the trucks, but we need an adapter for the front of the trailers to be able to line up our axles. So I got to do some shopping around and see where I can find one of them. Oh, let's see what we got in here. 104. Got some new steers on it. The reason for those is because the kingpins went bad. Took the axle out and it got sent up to Allied Spring and axle, and they're putting new, they're bushing, let's see, they're bushing the axle beam and sleeving the knuckles, I believe is what he said he had to do to it. But it was pretty bad. See, this is another set of tanks. It's got the Rhino lining and there's really nothing underneath there. I think this set's been on here, oh, I want to say a couple of years, I'm thinking. But cone holder, this guy is a local delivery guy and they still don't move over for him even when he puts his cones out. Timothy's got that great big box there. You think he was some master mechanic, but he does really well. I'm thankful for him here. This is the same thing. The kingpins were worn to where the front tires wouldn't stop wearing, so we took it apart. This one was nice enough to where we could just put our own quick kit in it. Trying to see the box for it, but we put the spiral bushings in and they seem to hold up well. We've only had to have 2 others re-bushed, and they were actually trucks that we gotten in that we hadn't kept the maintenance up on ourselves. This is 137. This is the blue Peterbilt. This is kind of a spare right now, but she runs nicely. The guys seem to like it. I was talking about the tanks earlier, and this one over here on this side is cracked. You can see it was flowing across here, cracked right up here where the weld is. So we'll have to get that fixed. We just got one on 140 fixed. Seems like just a never-ending thing. You fix one, you fix another, but not too awful much more going on. That's, for us, that's kind of a first with the Holland axles. So we're going to see how they push out. I think Monday or Tuesday. I can borrow that tool. It's not too dirty in here. You guys have been doing a pretty good job. Got everything lined up, put back together for the weekend. Except for that, that's just a whole bunch of stuff collected. There's Justin's got another one of his toys in here. And there's this machine. So Justin got the new Princeton that you guys saw in the earlier videos. And this is the machine that it replaced for full time. So going through, and this is our spray protection, I guess you call it. But going through, fixing it up, this plastic was all broke out here. And so Joe put an aluminum piece up in there, riveted it all in, and that'll go back up on the front there. But getting it fixed up, getting it usable for either a spare machine, or if someone likes it good enough, they'll run it full time. Justin's updating these, and it's a great thing that he does, because with these machines they have so many moving parts. But in addition to the moving parts, they're on the back of a trailer. The back of the trailer is covered in salt up here. We fight the salt with, like I say, on the tanks, the corrosion. But down in here, I want to show you. See where that new paint is? That whole sheet and everything is new because it rotted out right behind the tires. Going down the road, I think sitting on the back of the trailer, this side did the same thing. It rotted that sheet right out. So that piece there is part of the structure to keep this piece from flopping back and forth. You could actually see in the tires, I don't know if you can see in the camera, but in the tires, this side is about half as high as this side is. So the tires were starting to tip in. That was part of that, what that was breaking out. But empty except for that. Whenever things slow down, which I hope they never do, that means we're not trucking very hard. This is getting the big hole in it, and I gotta figure out what to do with the cabinets in it, but that shouldn't be a big deal. It's got some holes up in the top, and these here are gonna get fixed. This is all fiberglass top, so we got some rub marks up there, and we got to resheet everything. That, as the weather gets worse, we need to stay inside more. We'll start working on that. I'm looking forward to that project. But not much else going on. That's what's going on at the shop right now.
Good morning, guys. Well, I got my office started over there. give you a little look at what I've been working at. So kind of between Trevor and myself, one of the other guys, we've been pushing a lot of dirt. So most of this dirt was stacked up in here, all along here, and we pushed it all up over there. There's also more dirt over there that needs pushed up. That's what I'm going to be working on today. I was hoping to get more of this pushed that way, but my goal now is I'm working the backside and bringing it front. Kind of the reason I'm doing this is we have a lot of different types of soil. All this soil was hauled in, and some of it's nice soil. Well, I say 90% of it was hauled in. Some of this soil is like potting soil. Some of it's old mulch. It's a combination of things, and it needed blended together. So stuff that was like left on the ground after they hauled everything out, it was kind of woody material that broke down, turned into really fine product. So that's why I'm kind of pushing everything together, getting ready to screen for next year. So running dozer, what I'm doing is pretty easy. You know, I say easy to a certain extent. I don't have to do any fine grading. If I was doing fine grading, yeah, not me. But it's still a little bumpy. You got to be careful. You got to be a smooth operator. But out here, you can see it's not level. I didn't really spend a lot of time grading it, but I'm eventually going to get somebody in, a professional dozer operator in, and do the final grade. Probably at some point, maybe next summer. I want to work more on this field, kind of getting it mowed and getting it cleaned up, so that way we can plant corn or food plots or something in there. So I'll let you guys look right out the front. So for you truck drivers, I'll show you how to run a dozer real quick. This is real quick, all right? Here's where you start it. All you gotta do, push this lever front, push this lever front, all right? And this back here puts it in reverse and forward. This lifts the blade up, which I'm gonna do. Pull back, I'm gonna throttle it up, hear it rev up. It's on eco mode, so it's gonna idle back down. I just pull it back into reverse. I'm backing up. So to turn, this is just like a skid loader. One hand, so I'm going forward, just left, right, pretty basic. And then this over here, this one tilts the blade. It angles the blade side to side and then pushes it forward. So, yep, pretty basic, just running this thing for hours on end. And this whole area had soil in, trees growing on. It got it all cleaned up, looking much nicer. I just got to continue. And as you can see, last night it rained. I've been fighting the rain this week a little bit, which I'm not going to be pushing right here today, at least not right now. Where I'm going to be pushing it, it's almost more of like a mulch compost blend. So I can push that in the rain. That's not a big deal. Yesterday I was pushing and it was raining. There's no problem. I wish I could have gotten a bigger machine, but this 750 was the only machine available. It does really well, but it just, I tell you, I wish I would have had an 850 or a 1050. There's a lot of material here to push. This is what's left of the brush pile. This is something that we'll keep working on, getting it cleaned up. So I'll show you real quick. One of my goals today is all this material. That bank there, all that stuff gets pushed up and ramped up that way. And then what I'd like to do, if I get all this pushed up, push more of that over on top of this. This is really beautiful. Like, you wouldn't even want this straight. It's almost too rich. So I want to try to blend. So push that up, and then this material over here is ramp up a little bit more that way, kind of go over top of it, and kind of get everything sealed off, so that way water doesn't get down through there a whole lot, and I can set an excavator up top there next spring and start screening topsoil. I say next spring. It'll be probably June or July, or probably July or August of next year. Well, see these trees right here? They're kind of in my way. So, what trees, right? Well, Trevor's taking over for me again, but I got a lot of dirt pushed up. You know, we were so dry here, it's crazy. We were so dry all summer, and then, you know, it started raining a couple weeks ago, actually before I rented the dozer, but it's like, as soon as I rented the dozer, I looked at the weather before, and it was all clear, but it seems like as soon as that dozer got here, the weather forecast changed, and it decided it's gonna rain. I don't know, you can't win, but for those of you that need rain, rent a dozer. It's worth a shot, right? So if you really need rain, rent a dozer. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.